In this video, I'm going to be ranking the top 10 ocean creatures in Ark Survival Evolved. So I'm actually making this video because of the hashtag Team Seas movement that is going on right now on YouTube. So if you don't know, Mr. Beast is starting the hashtag Team Seas movement, which is pretty similar to the hashtag Team Trees that he did before, and this is going to be the biggest collaboration ever on YouTube, getting as many YouTubers as he possibly can to make videos to give awareness to the campaign that he's doing, where you donate $1, it will go to £1 being removed from the ocean. And there's so many big content creators doing that, and I know I'm not the biggest of ones, but I will have a link to the description where if you can go donate if you want to. But anyway, let's get into the video. Coming in at number 10 is going to be the Ichthyosaurus. This is the giant dolphin found in the ocean, and it's probably one of the first tames that everyone gets. Now, like I said, there's not that many ocean creatures, so that is why it is in the top 10. But this is pretty good because there's a really fast amount. It doesn't really have great damage or great weight. It's really good for just traveling around and going to get other tames as of its speed and mobility. Coming in at the number 9 spot is going to be the Manta. So the Manta is pretty similar to the Ichthyosaurus. It's a little bit harder to tame, but of course it can jump out of the water. It is really fast, except for it can actually defend itself with its damage, like its stingray attack, and its bite and all of that. So it actually has some good defense as well as good speed. You can also jump out of the water, which is extremely fun and satisfying to do. So that is definitely a no-brainer right there. And at number 8, we have the anglerfish. Now, the anglerfish is really good for one thing, and that is harvesting silica pearls. Once you get the anglerfish, it's basically impossible to run out of silica pearls because it gets so much, and you can easily harvest it with that. It is also pretty good at damage, but of course, as you can see, it's pretty small, not the greatest for mobility, but it is that harvesting thing makes it really good. Coming in at number 7 is going to be the Dunkleosteus. This is basically just a giant shark with this weird plate on the front of its face. But this is really useful for gathering oil. It does suck that it's a little bit slow, and by a little bit, I mean a lot. It is extremely slow, and you cannot travel anywhere with this thing, which is why cryopods in the game, so you can just use cryopods to move it around. But the oil, it can gather tons of oil really fast, and other kind of rocks and resources like that underneath the water. Coming in at number 6 is going to be the Megalodon. So this is actually pretty good. I feel like a little bit underrated. I mean, it does make sense because it looks awful, but it is pretty good for mobility as well as damage and weight. It can carry a good amount of stuff. It can defend against a few creatures because, of course, it is a pretty good fighter, and it has a little bit of mobility, not as much as some of the other ones on this list, but it can get you around the ocean. Coming in at number 5 is going to be the Megachalon. And this is basically a giant turtle. The cool thing about this is it actually has a ton of cool abilities, and this is the most recent of all the ocean creatures. But of course, it has its shell where you can actually build stuff on the back of it. So you can build a little house, you can build a storage system, whatever you want. And if you go underwater, it will allow you to breathe underwater with the bubbles that cover its back. Also, vegetation and stuff grows in the back of it, which is kind of just a cool plus. It's not really used for that much. And it also has a bubble breath. Now, I don't know why you'd use that, but you can use it. And it is a all-around pretty useful creature. It is also a really good tank as well. Now, coming in at number 4 is going to be the Plesiosaurus, or the Loch Ness Monster. Of course, this is a giant underwater creature with a long neck. The long neck makes it hard to fight anything, but it does have a decent amount of damage other than not being able to hit anything with its terrible hitbox in the front. The thing about this is it is extremely fast, probably the fastest underwater mount in the game. This will allow you to get all across the map anywhere you need. You can just travel there super quickly with the Plesiosaur, and that is why it is coming in at number 4. Coming in at number 3 is going to be the Mosasaurus. So this is probably one of the most iconic sea creatures of all time, excluding the Megalodon, of course. And this one's useful because, it is like the Giga of the underwater, or it used to be anyway. It's really strong, pretty fast. It's used for just killing a lot of things because it has a lot of health and a lot of damage, and that is what it is kind of useful for. Coming in at number 2 is going to be the Tuso, or the giant squid. Now, this is probably one of the most powerful underwater mounts. It is really hard to tame, but it's definitely worth it, as it is, of course, super powerful. It has a ton of health. It is good for mobility, as well as it can grab stuff with its tentacles, going up to the size of a mosasaur, at which you can kill anything in your grasp with that, as well as you can shoot out ink, which will basically blind the enemy, as you'd assume it can do. And that is why the Tuso is coming in at number 2. So finally, coming in at number 1 is going to be the Basilo. So if you don't really play Ark, then this might be a little bit of a surprise, but if you do play a lot, then you'll probably know why this is at number 1. Main thing is it cannot be stung by jellyfish, one of the few creatures that can't be stung by jellyfish, and that might sound like a little inconvenience, but it's actually probably one of the most important things in the ocean, as jellyfish are everywhere. If you get stung, you instantly get dismounted, and your thing is probably going to die. If you had mosasaurs killed, I mean, this jellyfish will destroy you, so that is also a really good thing. The thing that sucks about the Basilo though is if you go too deep, you'll start taking damage, but you don't actually take too much damage if you know how to use it. The Basilo is surprisingly pretty powerful as well. I mean, it is up to the power of a Mosa. Like, you can use it in the place of that, and it is all around really good. So that's going to be it for this video. If you guys did enjoy or find it helpful, make sure to leave a like and also subscribe. Make sure to check out the hashtag Team Seas movement if you somehow haven't seen it already. Also, make sure to join the Discord server and follow me on Twitter. There'll be links in the description with all that. But thanks for watching, and bye.